show me how to feel, 'cause it's all me, it's all past me, and I'm the same, just unhappy. Show me, what is love? Is it the sky? Is up above? Was it more intrinsic? Just convinced it's something you don't have. 'Cause I wanna feel like I'm wasting my time, and I don't wanna feel like I'm running over. I just wanna lift my heart over. I just wanna feel like I'm in love. So how can we feel when this world is crashing in and we're all afraid? Yeah, we all feel lonely. I think I can say, man, I'm not the only one. No, I'm not the only one. Sit me down, clear my head of all these sounds, 'cause they're so distracting. God, I'm ready for you. Play me a song that the others saw got wrong. They tried to cut me off from you. It's easy to feel wrong, but that's just human. It's easy to feel lost when you've got something to hide. And fear is just a word that don't mean nothing. It's just what we feel when we cover up the lie. How can we feel when this world is crashing in and we're all afraid? Yeah, we're all feel lonely. I think I can say, man, I'm not the only one. An illusion can win when you accept the truth within. And I can say, man, I'm not waiting anymore. Not waiting. Love is real, it's a default you instill when everything else falls away. And we're back live on Facebook. Again, I used Brady Shaw, one of his videos. I'm kind of doing rewinds now. So, anyways, thank you, Brady, for never got the official word that I could use it, but I have been. You can blame me later. Thursday, what's going on? Beautiful day up here in Crescent City. I see Dawn, my mom, and Cynthia. Hello. Maybe Yvonne. I'm not sure. So let me drop the link so we can get this thing started. I've already said what I've had to say. Don't have anything. We'll just let it flow. Hopefully do an hour. Don't want to do a whole lot more than that today. Maybe a little less. Yes, that's the other lighthouse. This one's called Point St. George, and it's out in the ocean.
It's kind of a cool. You can take helicopter trips out there, I think. But that is Point St. George Lighthouse. It's kind of between Brookings and Crescent City out in the ocean. Anyways, what's going on today? How's everybody doing? We all staying safe from the virus? Any news? Anything you want to talk about? Because I'm about ready to bust out some show tunes, but I'm gonna freestyle show tunes. That's what I'm all about today. So give me half a chance, and I'm gonna be busting out some freestyle show tunes. Yes. How's your mom doing? Is she How's your mom doing, Cindy? How's our Aunt Donna? I hope she's well. So who's out there today? Who even I see? Who is out there? She's okay. Good. Jennifer here. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome. Let me drop that link here. If you're in Facebook, it looks like a duck, I think. If you're in StreamYard, it doesn't. Any exciting stuff? Anybody got any thing to share? We're going to do a show one day with Maggie and her products. I think that's a good idea. Here comes Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer, coming up. Let's see if your computer is working.
I believe it is.
Looking good. Everybody got any?
Oh, let me turn off my Facebook, Patrick. Can you hear me now?
Yep, loud and clear.
Can you hear me, Patrick?
Loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Okay. No, nothing exciting. I certainly can. I had an interesting talk with my doctor today because I've been trying to get the antibody test, and I finally got a hold of her. And she says since they're only 80% right, she kind of talked me out from getting it. She says, wait until tests comes out that are more positive to take, which that could really surprise me. I thought the antibody test was a little bit better, but she said, no, they're still lacking.
So it's only 80% accurate.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Right. And she said,
that one, well, I'm wondering if it's hard, if it says that you had it, does that mean it's an 80% chance that you had it, or it's 80% chance that it'll see that you had it?
It's an 80% chance I could get a false positive or a false negative.
I got you.
20% chance. And she says, why even bother? Because if you had it, they still don't know yet if you can get reinfected. So why put yourself out there thinking that you might have some kind of defense against it, and it could have been a false positive or a false negative?
I wonder. Go ahead. I wonder how accurate they can get. Do they get, another test, do they get up to what, 98, 99%? You would hope?
Cindy would know more of that. Come on up, Cindy, because she was with Quidel, and they have some amazing tests out there. I just don't think Quidel is doing the antibody testing yet. Come on up, Cindy.
Ray Pierce might know a little bit about that also.
No, Ray would if he's on, but I haven't seen Ray on lately.
He's probably busy making a new nest.
I would assume so. And he's probably back to work a lot too. So, but Cindy, come on up, honey.
I see both dogs behind you.
Yep, we got Bogey and Bella. Lisa had her house cleaning lady today. They've just been running around. They're so cute. So, Patrick, when is Joe's show on Sunday? Did you nail down the time yet?
I believe it's 3:00.
3 o'clock. Okay, because I heard either 3 or 4 o'clock. Oh, here comes Sin. Hi, Cuz.
Hi, guys. How's everybody doing?
Good. Tell us about the Quidel testing.
Well, the Quidel tests are primarily rapid diagnostic tests, and they either use a swab up from your throat or a nasal swab that goes very deep into your sinus cavity. And they are 98% accurate.
That's what you want, definitely.
But they don't have a test to see if you had it. They only have a test to see if you have it.
Are they working on an antibody test?
Oh, I don't know. I don't work there anymore. I'm retired, baby.
Oh, I thought maybe you talked to somebody from there.
Put in some phone calls for us. Do a little detective work.
I do a little digging. I'd sure like to get a really good, a 90% antibody test, or 95, 98. Yeah. That would be awesome.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, honey. So tell Patrick now how your mom's doing.
Oh, well, you know, Patrick, she had a big, and anyone else that cares, she had a big hematoma on her shin from her shin bumping the edge of the car door. And it was big. It was like a goose egg, black, a mess. So, and her doctors, I just don't feel they're that competent. But I asked her doctor on Monday when we were there, or Friday when we were there, do you think she should see a wound specialist? And he said, well, yeah, yeah. So we went there yesterday, and they were amazing. They were so thorough and just amazing. And it looks a lot better. I mean, it looks like it's going to heal in about a month or so. Looks great.
That's a good thing.
It has the deep vein thrombosis, which is a blood clot. And other than that, she's just, trucking along.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. Gina and Josh came up today. They don't go anywhere near my mom. They want to. Josh wants to hug her. Gina really wants to hug her. But they don't want to get too close, so that's fine.
Didn't Cindy? Didn't Gina take Josh to get an antibody test in LA?
Yeah, she did.
And it came back negative, which you don't know for sure yet.
Exactly.
Right.
It came back negative.
Right.
So.
But that doesn't mean he didn't have it.
Right. He had something.
Right. That's the way I feel.
Really too sick to have just allergies.
That's the way I feel too.
They medicated the vomiting. They medicated, so they can mask it, but it doesn't mean much really. So I don't know. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
That's all I have to say. I'm going to go start some din. Nice to see you up there, Cindy. I'll get back on in a little bit. Give Donnie or somebody else a chance to get up here.
Yes.
Love you all.
I just got a phone call. Hold on here. Someone's going to bail me out. Green Bicycles, this is Patrick. How can I help you? How you doing, Mark? What you need? We have a 25-pound bucket. Mm-hmm. Okay. We get that in a 20-pound bucket. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is that it? Okay, cool. I'll call you back later in the week when the day it ships. I'll give you a tracking number. I'll call you when it ships, and I'll get that. How about that? Okay, Mark, you'll hear from me in a day or two. I guess tomorrow's Friday. It might be Monday. I'll do my best. Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, I know. I can't help it. Yeah, there was no one else on the screen. I had to do something. I guess I could have left the screen. I don't know what happens if I leave the screen right now. Well, I don't know if I try. It might shut down the whole 9 yards. Anyways, little money. I'll take that. We'll take that just like that. This is a busy time of the year, by the way. So, yes, I the show is brought to you by Green Bicycles. So they're at the head of the line. What's going on? I dropped the link. I see Damien. Welcome back, Damien. I haven't seen you for a while. Danny Wells, it's always good to see you. Uncle Joe. Who else is out there? Who else wants to come on? Let me drop that link again. Let me drop that link again. Yeah. No. We don't do that. Oh, here's Dennis. I see Dennis popped in down there. What's going on, Dennis?
What happened to my sister and Cindy?
I don't know. They went off.
Did you mean us to be in on your business deal with Mark there?
I don't care.
Okay, all right.
Actually, that's a place down in Hemet. It's kind of a pain in the ass. He wants a real small order, really. Well, not big, but it's.
And can you take care of me right away? Can you jump right on this for me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to ship it tomorrow morning? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you special ship it 2-day it to me?
I might. I'll make the guy happy. He actually owes me money, but we won't talk about that.
Okay.
But actually, Damien's been there. Damien's listening. This is the guy Mark's Hydro down in Hemet, and maybe I'll pay Damien to take some over to him or something. I don't know.
Well, I was going to answer some of their things on that. What I found out from the antibody test. Me and Sis and Dean all had it that one day.
Yeah.
We all came up negative. We all thought we might have had it. A couple of my other friends have had the antibody test too. Both of them thought they were very sick, thought they probably had it. And everybody that I know that's taken it, it's come up negative. I asked the nurse, because I told her, I said, I don't want the Chinese test. What is this? Is this, because I heard Roche Diagnostic from Switzerland, I believe, has one that's like 99% accurate. She goes, no, it's not the Roche Diagnostic, but it's a USA test. It's 98% accurate, is what she told me, the nurse that took my blood. But I've heard there's 70 antibody tests being developed. So who knows what the office is telling you, It certainly wasn't free. Everybody I know that's taken it. I think Sis got a deal because she's on Medicare. It was $55. Me and Margie and a couple other friends that I know took it. It cost $110. Yeah, we were all hoping that we had it. We would get positive so that at least we knew we had it, So a lot of people, I think, believe that they were sick, but I would suspect that they probably weren't. So that's what I know about the antibody test.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was like a central location that you could have the raw data or numbers that you could trust?
We've gotten, I believe, 8 new cases in Butte County in the last 3 days. It'd sure be nice to know where at Butte County, maybe where those people employment is, but you really don't get anything. You just get, 2 more cases in Butte County last night, 4 more new cases. One of them came from the church, they said, but that's all the information I got out. Maybe there's other places you can go. I think Donnie's pretty good about going to some websites, but it sure seems like there's a lack of info. It'd sure be nice for the public to have a little, not to have the person's address or phone number or anything, but how about just where they were located in the county, maybe where they live? Is it Chico? Is it Oroville? Is it Paradise? And maybe where their employment was. If they worked at Rayleigh's or they worked at Holiday Market, I think the public should know that,
Donnie's asked me, I got your email, Donnie, about with the spreadsheet. I didn't have time today to go over it thoroughly. I've been kind of busy, but no, ours went from, the last I heard, it was 3 or 4. Now it's 16 in our county.
Yeah, no, I saw a little spike in Del Norte. And chances are more people are getting tested now. Could be a reason, but it's still like, to me, it's just saying don't be letting your guards down. But I see so many people not wearing masks, so many people not doing the social distancing. It's just like, wow, I guess we, did all that for 2 months for not, is kind of what I'm thinking. But I don't know. I'm still trying to keep a positive outlook on it.
Today was the first time I saw there was mandatory mask at Home Depot. And
oh, wow.
So they gave you one if you didn't have one. So
I went to Home Depot today to get some glue in the afternoon. The parking lot was stacked. I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I just pulled out of there and went somewhere else. I was like, no, I just don't want to go in places that are packed with people. And in the Home Depot up here, you don't have to have a mask. Even the Rayleighs up here, you don't have to have a mask, which I think is kind of silly. But Costco, yes, is a mandatory mask. But bars and restaurants. Now, if the bars serve food, and here's the thing, you can't just go into like Madison Bear and get a drink. You have to order food, and then you can have a drink at the establishment. Is how they're working that one. You can drink in a restaurant, but you got to order food. You just can't go in a restaurant. Like I can't go into the Japanese restaurant down here, sit at the bar and drink. You gotta have order food, and then it's only so many drinks per meal that you have. But
are they knocking down the capacity by a half or a third or anything like that?
I'm not sure. I haven't really went in. Most of the restaurants, where I went and gotten takeout, all their seats are still kind of like cordoned off, like they're not even letting people go in. Although I do believe there is some restaurants that are trying to open around town, bring in, I do believe it's outside and a limited capacity. But like you said, there's no clear rules, city to city. It's just it seems like we should have some kind of a guidance thing to go by. It would just clear it all up for everybody, so everybody's not in the gray. Mr. Shaw, how are we doing, sir?
Hey, I gotta say, I don't find myself on the other side of the fence with you very often. And I'm honest to God, I'm not here to pick a fight.
It's all right. It's all right.
But I wanted to tell you that if you know what you want at Home Depot, go online, order it, pay for it. You go to curbside, show them your phone, they bring it out. Not a problem.
No,
hardly anybody uses
that. I'm not sure if that's Chico. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe check into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was going to bring up,
when I go to Home Depot at 6 a.m, and it's usually not an issue.
That's the best time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it could be the most crowded time because a lot of people get there. Well, not at 6.
Not when they first open. If you're there when they first open,
you're in and out.
Failing pretty much.
Okay, so you guys were talking.
People like to sleep in.
You guys were talking about elevated cases, and I don't think anybody's going to deny that as we open up, the cases are going to elevate. Except for how would you explain Florida or Georgia? That Florida's pretty much all open, and they haven't elevated. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but if they have it's not an extreme. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it does have to do with testing. More people are getting tested.
The more people that get tested, the more positives you're going to get.
Definitely, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that there's definitely that part of the equation for sure. I don't know about. I haven't heard much of Georgia or Florida, but
where we really are on opposite sides of the fence. I'm the whole mask thing. There are upsides to the mask and there are downsides to the mask. Okay, to me the worst downside of the mask is they're miserable to wear, and I wear it when I go into Home Depot. And we have to here basically. There's no business that we could go into that we don't have to wear a mask.
Are you wearing a cloth mask or an N95?
Yeah, I have both. I prefer the cloth mask, to be honest.
Yeah,
and if I wear an N95, I don't wear it right. I don't put the bottom strap on so I can actually breathe.
Is very claustrophobic. I'll give you that. The N95 is miserable to wear. The cloth
and I couldn't imagine. And if you ever talk to
any, a lot better, but my glasses fogged up a lot worse with the cloth. So.
if you talk to anybody, and I've talked to, like, you know, deli workers, you know, if you go ahead and get a deli sandwich, you know, how do you like wearing that mask all day? They freaking hate it. I've never talked to anybody that said, oh, it's fine. And I'm talking about people that have to wear them 8 hours a day.
They've certainly done some studies though where the masks keep it from moving around so much. They really have done studies on that I got to get behind. I mean, they're medically done, and all the other countries too.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Thailand. Thailand hasn't put any money into anything. There's just nothing but social distancing and wearing masks, and they've almost mitigated it because of that. So
yeah,
you know, it's the trouble here. I see it all over here. The kids aren't wearing masks. They're out partying. They're socializing down at the zoo. It's just,
dude,
you know,
if you were 22 years old, you probably would be the same way.
Yeah.
We didn't think the same way we think, you know, when we were in our 20s, and now we're in our 60s. We have a whole different. I have a whole different mindset. Yeah. But
you know, hey, 3 weeks from now, if the numbers are still way down, then I was wrong and you were right. So
yeah,
if
I just know that
the numbers all start spiking, then I get to say I told you so. So I guess we could just leave it at that.
I've been talking to a couple restaurateurs, and you know, I think today or tomorrow restaurants can actually start opening, but there's a huge, you know, there's a huge protocol that they got to go through. You know, that they have to. It's incredible that, like, you're talking about half occupancy in restaurants, and you're talking about dividers between every table. There, you know, some people are doing it with shower curtains. Some people are doing it with glass. Some people are doing it with removable dividers. Hang on. And most of these restaurants, you know, to put that kind of effort and to only get half occupancy, they're not even going to open it. They're just going to wait till it, you know, wait it out a little longer, you know, until things settle down a little more, which I think we're on the downside of the hill. I think it would be expected that we're going to see a spike in cases as things start opening up. But
like I said,
you know what kind of makes me mad is that they got these epidemiologists, and they've got all the Dr. Fauci and all the medical people, and they need an economist up there. They need somebody to tell people this is, people are suffering. I know not a lot of our people in our family, like especially the older people, Sis and Dean and your mom and my mom and you know, Pat's mom, your mom, my mom. They don't have to work for a living. All right. They don't have a job that they got to go do and earn a living. They're pretty well set. But the people that do, the people that the small mom pop shops, the barber shops, the salons, the nail salons, you know, I mean, it goes on and on. The restaurants.
How do you feel
people
about
need
churches?
to make a living? And
how do you feel about churches being able
and there's
to
a lot of data out there now that I hear about just how bad, you know, people that are stuck at home, the suicide rate goes up, the alcoholism goes up, the child abuse goes up, the spousal abuse goes up, the depression goes up. You know, there's consequences of not opening too. You know, so just keep that in mind. I would say.
How do you feel about churches?
I'm not sure, even if the restaurants get open, if I'm going to run right out and go to a restaurant.
Can you
know
hear
what
me,
I mean? Or
can you hear him, Kurt?
Can you hear me?
I can hear
certainly
you.
not going to go to any sporting events. I was never big
Ask
on
Kurt about churches.
Just staying away from large crowds, I think, is real important.
I don't think he can hear me.
Can you hear Dennis, Kurt? Can you hear me, Kurt?
How about churches? Do you feel like churches are okay to open all up again?
Oh, what happened here? I had to go out, come back in.
Yeah, I think he can't. I don't think he can hear us.
I don't think
that's an interesting question. Yeah, that's an interesting question because technically they don't make money anyways, right? So
who, churches?
Yeah, right. They don't make money.
Well, they're talking about opening them all up here, and I think that's a bad deal myself. You know, was there somebody at a church that might have was tested positive? Is that something going on there in Orville or something? Yeah, down in Palermo, Mother's Day, pastor said, "Screw you, I'm having mass." 180 people showed up. The next day, a lady inside tested positive. I know that one of the 4 last night was one of the parishioners in that church. You know, one of the 4 new cases. You know, the whole thing is being indoors in crowds is not a good thing. You know, I hear a lot of this thing about. So I hear a lot of this about, you know, my rights. You know, my rights are being taken away, but you know, the government has the right to take your rights away when it has to do with the health of the public. So
Yeah.
It's you know,
Yeah.
I know it ain't easy to swallow, but that's how it is. I mean,
I hear most of that from religious people that want to go to church, and
yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you is how do you feel about churches opening up?
I think if they do it right, it should be fine. I think if they social distance and they wear a mask and you know, if they do it right, fine. But yeah, if they get a cram packed full of, I don't think you're going to see any businesses cram packed anywhere. I think for a long time.
But you know, it kind of like you say, let it open. The people that want to take the risk, take the risk. Us guys that don't want to take the risk, we just don't go to the restaurant. We don't go to church, and we don't get on a plane. You know.
Yeah, you know, there's been a lot of data that says that, look, the people that are really at risk here are the elderly, right? The people that actually are over 70.
Guess what? That's me and you.
And it's funny how they got it so wrong, how New York got it so wrong and California got it wrong and these states got it wrong about sending these elderly people that had COVID back into the nursing homes. That's how sometimes your government just gets it wrong. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just not one of those guys that's going to believe everything I hear from Gavin.
In the beginning, there just wasn't enough guidance. There wasn't enough somebody taking charge and saying this is the way it's got to go. No one wanted to take that on. No Democratic, no Republican wanted to have that on their shoulders to say this is what we got to do. You know?
They did take it on. They're the ones that made the decision that we have these old people with COVID. Are we going to isolate them or are we going to put them back in the nursing home? And somebody in that administration, whether it's a Democrat administration or it's a Republican administration, made the decision that those old people should go back into that home. You know that.
Yeah, but it was the governors that had control over all that, and so you have all these different governors that made that same decision. You know, because of no clear mandates. That's how I see it. You know, once they figured it out, they changed their ways. In the beginning,
right?
You know, yeah, you know, everybody was kind of.
I agree with you. As like let the people that aren't that if they get it, they have a 99.9% chance of getting over it. Let them go out. You know what I mean? It's weird. You know what's weird is that this lockdown that we're in. I don't think you could ever name a time that we ever had anything like that where we actually locked down healthy people. You know,
well, they did it during the 1918 influenza.
It wasn't for the healthy people.
No, and they did it in 1918. In 1918, they did a lot of lockdown and took away rights and kept people.
They locked down healthy people. I know they locked down sick people, but I'm not so sure you're back in 1918. You're going to lock down a healthy person.
They did. They locked down all of San Francisco. They locked down Philadelphia. There were some cities that didn't do it, and they got hit extra hard. And so
no. What do you mean lock down healthy people? Unless it's way different than anywhere else. I've never felt locked down one iota personally. What do you mean locked down?
The rules.
No. What do you mean locked down? You can't leave your house. You can't drive your car.
Stay home. You were supposed to stay home. All the freeways, all the signs on the freeways, stay home, save lives. That's what they were telling you to stay home.
Were you locked
but they weren't
down?
putting anybody in jail over it. They were saying go for a walk. They were saying.
I don't have my headphones on, so I'm at a disadvantage. When you both talk, I can't hear you at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't see it as them telling you you're locked in your house or you're locked where you can't go anywhere. No one's been put in jail.
Nobody in America was being, locked in. But okay, so what
Yeah.
would you? Okay, they wanted you to quarantine at home. Okay, I'll put it more
Yeah.
lightly. Okay,
Yeah,
you can deny that they didn't want you to quarantine at home, Pat. Come on, they did.
I know. Kurt, that's
What's
different than
about it is some of the stats that are coming out is that the highest percentage of the people that got it, I think this was in New York, like 60% of the people that quarantined at home got it quarantined at home.
Okay, settle down. Kurt, settle down a little bit here. Just settle down a little bit. Okay, you're getting a little excited.
We can't hear you.
The difference between being a healthy person being locked down and suggesting that they quarantine at home are just different ballparks. And one is like propaganda hysteria.
Okay,
so
so
I'm going to say.
Okay,
I'm gonna say,
you've never heard the
that's-
term locked down. You've never heard that in California, locked down?
No, but back in the day when they had measles and smallpox, you couldn't leave your house, and there was
If
no.
If you had it, you got locked.
Yes, but I mean,
Not
you couldn't go by. You couldn't leave. You were.
Are you
locked
still
in.
using? Get over that term lockdown because you're using it as you can't leave your house, and that's bullshit. That's just propaganda.
You could leave your house, right? You could leave your house for a couple of reasons. Okay, you could go grocery shopping. You could go get medical. You could get prescriptions, and you could go to the hospital or doctor if you had to. Right? That's the only reason they wanted you to leave your house.
And how many people got put in jail because they didn't follow that?
I didn't follow. I went fishing and I went for drives on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
But,
no. I never said mandatory. It was all voluntary, right?
Okay, now that's a little softer. You're getting the ball.
There's a lot of people in our family that took that very seriously.
Yeah, well, maybe they should
left the house.
Still do.
And probably a lot of those people who took it real seriously were real susceptible. They were older, that with maybe some issues. So I can't blame them at all for taking it very seriously. But
not all of them.
What's that?
I'm old age.
Older.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm old and I got lung problems.
Okay.
Hey, I think you're losing me, man. I'm going to get out of here.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just ignoring you. That's all.
Okay. I'm being an ass.
Go ahead, Dennis.
No, go ahead, Dennis. I'm off the box.
Go ahead, Dennis. What you got?
Oh, I'm good. I mean, I felt we were not completely locked down. It was all kind of we all kind of did our own part. To try to help everybody else is what it was more about than actually being locked down. I never felt like I was locked down. I felt like that was my best option. And I abided by it and happily, because I didn't want to catch the stuff. I'm old and I got bad lungs. I don't want to catch it,
But if you were a 40-year-old man and you had a couple of kids at home and had rent to pay and they told you to stay and earn a living, are you?
I understand.
And
there's a lot of people working here. All the construction's back up.
Well, construction never stopped. Good thing. I'm glad.
Slowed down a little bit, I think, but never stopped. Yeah.
It's still kind of interesting to me. Is there that much of a difference from people like you and I that really didn't quarantine?
No, but like you said, I will agree with you. The restaurants got hit hard. The restaurants are, and I'm glad I don't own a restaurant, because right now that would be a very difficult business to try to negotiate. Their margins are so slim anyway. You can only have 25% of the people. How are they going to make it? They can't.
They're not going to make it on half occupancy either. You
No,
can't.
I
They're-
agree. I
You
agree.
have to raise the prices so high that people aren't going to go, going to go pay $60 for, an average meal at an average restaurant,
Yeah, I
or
my
city or
part right
village.
now is I try to give them a really good tip when I go get food to take home. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. It would be tough. I'm glad I don't own a restaurant. I will say that.
There are a lot of businesses that are going to be hurt hard. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Well, Donnie was going to
Yeah,
come
it's
on
hard
here.
to say when it's. Here's my feeling, and then I'm going to go. We're in about the second inning of a 9-inning game, so that's how I feel about it. Personally,
Yeah.
I think we got a long ways to go still.
Let's just hope we don't go into extra innings.
Right.
Well, one thing I think you'll probably find is it's going to be a while before business bounces back 100% because there's going to be a lot of people that will choose not to go out there until they feel safe. What that means, I don't know. Whether it's a vaccine that works, or so there'll be a lot of people that's not going to participate in that economy for a while. Just
I'll tell you right. There are people that are choosing not to go back to work because they're getting $1,000 a month on unemployment.
Can't hear.
More money on unemployment than they did working.
Donnie, thought it was Damien.
I don't get that. Why did the federal government have to give everybody they paid 150% more than what you'd normally get on unemployment? It's an incentive not to go back to work. It's crazy. I don't get that.
Bobby, they give corporations billions of dollars who don't pay taxes. Does that bother you?
I'll let you argue this one.
I'm not okay. Are we going to talk
breaking
about
this thing up.
corporations, or are we going to talk about what's going on?
No, the big
right
corporations
now.
got billions of dollars.
This has been going on for years. How much are we going to argue this corporation thing?
Well, do you think it's that
I thought we were talking about something else.
Well, we're talking about the government handing out money to people to keep them from working, right? To incentivize them to work.
And my point is, okay, I don't think the federal government necessarily shouldn't give people money, but 150% more than what they get on their regular unemployment. I don't know if you can. You can't deny the fact that there are people sitting doing whatever they want to do, right? And when that job comes ready to go again, they're going to say, well, why should I go to work? I'm making as much money as I do when I don't work.
But doesn't that expire pretty soon?
I think it goes till January.
I don't know. No, you're right. That could be an issue.
Who knows? 6 months.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. What's up, Don? Your hair looks wonderful.
I just got out of the shower. Thanks. Drying it a little bit outside in the sunshine. Outside. But I was just trying to get in on the conversation about closing down the economy. I think it's such a great topic to discuss because, there are the lucky people that can keep working during the economy, like me and my husband. And then there's the unlucky people like our cousin Danielle, who she can't work because it's a beauty shop, right? So they're not allowed to go back to work.
They're making a criminal out of her.
And so when you say lockdown, I wasn't feeling locked down either, Patrick. But you know what? When they don't have a way to make a living and they have to make a living, they were locked out of opening because the health department would literally drive to her place of business and give her a citation. And that did happen to her. So I felt for both sides because, she couldn't work and make a living. So then Kurt, where you were mentioning something about the government giving people money to stay at home and they were getting more than unemployment. And I just think a lot of the people that need to, kind of shelter in place, they can't pay their bills on the low numbers of unemployment. They're not used to making a living with those low numbers. So I think that's why the Congress had to decide on higher numbers to keep the economy, from completely collapsing. But I definitely understand both sides of the lockdown argument. And I wish there was a way, like, we could afford to pay people and their small businesses to stay afloat so they could safely quarantine and not go out of business, and maybe let the bigger businesses, bigger corporations, maybe struggle a little bit harder on their own. I don't know.
They kind of had a good program for that, right? It was called PPP, payroll protection plan, right? So I applied for PPP, and basically they were giving you 2.5 months of your payroll, your rent, your mortgage, and your phone bill, and your utilities. So mine only averaged out to like $30,000, right? But that would have helped a lot. Well, what happened? And the problem was I belong to this multinational bank, Chase Manhattan, right? So Chase decides, okay, we get a percentage of all the money we loan out. Why are we going to loan this little guy $30,000 and we can loan this a big company $3 million and get a percentage off of that? And the little guy ended up getting screwed on that. You know, it I don't know.
What about just more of like you know, Andrew Yang's $2,000 a month for every person, and then just suck it up for quarantine until there's a vaccine?
Why not 5,000?
Yeah, and we don't know if there's ever going to be a vaccine.
Right.
We really don't. There's not a vaccine for a lot of diseases that still plague the planet. Yeah. You know, we don't know if there's going to. I'm hopeful that there are, and I think it was the Los Angeles mayor said they're going to, you know, keep the beaches closed, partially closed, until there's a cure. I heard him say that, until there's a cure. And I'm like, there may never be a cure for this virus. I mean,
I think chances are there won't be, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So this is skeptical of all these government leaders and so-called, you know, professional.
I'm just kind of advocating maybe it's during a time of crazy pandemic, it's more of a time for a socialist mentality than a capitalist mentality.
I don't think we're in such a crazy pandemic. I don't. There hasn't been the millions of deaths that they predicted in the beginning. We haven't. We didn't. You know. We flattened the curve. You know.
But were the millions predicted over the course of the pandemic, or were there millions predicted in the first 3 months?
There was millions of deaths predicted.
First 3 months.
Early on.
Well, we've only been in it for 3 months, so there still could be millions that die.
It's not looking that way. I mean, sure, anything can happen, but it's certainly not. The numbers don't bear that out at all. They don't. We're not getting tens of thousands of new cases every week or every day. We get a few here and a few there, you know.
But just talk about the deaths and not the cases, because you can't.
Deaths aren't nearly what they thought they were going to be, and they know that the deaths, we talked about this earlier, are mainly from older people over 70 and people that with health conditions, diabetes, overweight, a couple other issues. But we kind of know that kids especially don't get it. I think in all the deaths in the United States, there's only been 2 kids under 5 that have died from it.
I did.
So we're getting to know who, you know, who's really going to die from this.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at a bunch of graphs on the CDC website today. I was kind of playing around with different graphs and looking at all the different areas you can click on by age, by race. You can click on all the demographics, check the box, and it'll give you the numbers. And although people that are over 70 are definitely the highest demographic, there's significant numbers in the lower ages. It's not just older people, and there are some children that are dead. So you got to look at the numbers.
Yeah.
but I mean, I agree with you. I don't trust numbers I get on the news either, because I just like to do my own numbers. So I've been keeping my own database since March, and I'm looking at those numbers and going, well, what do I think of the numbers? You know, I don't want to hear what the news people say about the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you got that whole thing, you know, about the doctors being pressured to list every death as a COVID death, whether they died of, whether they might have had COVID, but if they died of a heart attack while they had COVID, it was listed as a COVID death. So those numbers could be a little skewed too, you know.
Yeah.
Have you heard that, Pat?
Yeah, that smells real fishy when they do that. And I think there was a monetary incentive for that also, if I'm not mistaken.
Follow the money. That's what, you know. Yeah, there was.
But there's also, you know, if you know, control 101 is fear, and if a government wants people to do something, they scare them. I mean, this is nothing new that the United States has done to us, you know, to scare us so we'll be subservient. They probably want to err on the side of scaring people. Obviously, that seems kind of the case.
To me, the case is they want to err on saving their own asses. That's what they're protecting their own. It would be hard for a politician to stand up in a news conference and have somebody say, people died because you did this. People died because, you know, they're gonna be very cautious, you know, and maybe that's right. You know, maybe they should be cautious, but
no, they definitely have to balance economics with health. That's a very tough. I'm glad I'm not in that position, because you're going to have to make choices on, you know, how many people can die to save the economy, and that's why I think that politicians need to be a little bit of a psychopath. That's a trait that probably helps them in these situations, because I don't want to make those decisions, you know, and but even business owners try to, you know, all these owners of sports teams, they jumped right in it. You know, it's to me, it's a little more than politicians. The owner of Disneyland, you know, there was no pressure from politics for them, but they're probably trying to save their own ass. They don't want lawsuits or whatever. You're probably right about that.
The shutdown wasn't necessary, because we did not know this enemy that we had. We had no idea about this virus in the beginning, right? But we've learned a lot of things from the virus and how it works and how it, you know, what people it likes to kill. And I've said from the beginning, I have a big problem with the government overreach. That's a huge problem with me. And there's a lot of places where the government did overreach, and they're still overreaching, if you ask me, with their rules for us, with their rules to limit the way we want to live.
See, that's where I feel like,
and there's some overreach, and I don't like the overreach.
And that's why I feel a little weird about this conversation, because like what Donnie said, is my business has not been affected at all. I do exactly what I've done before. Other people can't, so it's hard for me to judge. If my business shut down right now at this time of year, that would have probably lost my business. You know, so I would have felt much differently about it. So it's a tricky, it's a problem. It's an issue, and I've been very fortunate. Most of us have, I think, in our family overall. I hope. I haven't heard any real horror stories from my family, but no, you know, just for the luck of the grace of the angels or whoever, we're lucky, but a lot of people aren't. And you're right. I think it doesn't make sense that they allow families with carrying kids to Walmart, you know, tagging along 4 or 5 kids, and they're shopping, but you can't go to a mom and pop furniture store where you might be the only person in the store, probably.
Right.
You know, or there might be 3 people.
Or the amount of the people in the store, just like they're doing now. You know,
Exactly.
There's protocols that could have been put in place. You know,
so some things it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It just doesn't. And I'm in a good position, so I don't like to make judgment calls. But it seemed there's some things that seem very fishy, very fishy. Bless you, Donnie. Bless you.
Allergies, not COVID.
But anyways, we're safe if it was, because believe it or not, the camera's better than a mask.
Well, they say you can catch it now through Zoom. Have you heard that? No, I'm kidding.
No, please.
They don't say that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go because I'm having a hard time. I gotta see what's wrong with my headphones.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Kurt. Good seeing you.
All right, Patrick, you've been gone. You've been going almost an hour.
That's right. This is a good time to wrap up. I will drop the link. We got about 5. Hey, Donnie, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right.
Have you been to Crescent City? You've never come up here, have you?
I haven't. My girls would love it.
You got to get up here and check it out. Look at that lighthouse behind me. Kind of cool.
Yeah, I love that. I'm obsessed with lighthouse. I actually, during the first week of quarantine, I decided to make a map of all the East Coast lighthouses and map it out on Google and see how long it would take me to go from, like, I don't know, New York to Maine, but do all the ones in Massachusetts and all that all the way up. And it looks like I'm going to need a good 2 weeks to see all the ones I want to see, but I definitely have a slight obsession with lighthouses.
No, it is. You know what? There's one lighthouse in town that they have lighthouse keepers. That might be a goal for retirement goal. Is it's usually elderly couple. They just live in a lighthouse.
Ooh.
And then they facilitate the tours during the day.
Oh, that sounds so cool. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're pretty small though.
I've never
They're pretty.
been, but I really love them. Just looking at pictures of them.
No, they have pictures of this one with waves that crash over it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then they have helicopters that fly out to it, and you can do a tour, I believe.
Oh,
It's
so
not-
that's what we could do. Nick could fly the helicopter tour, and I could give the lighthouse tour, and we could retire and live our dream to be on the ocean.
8 miles out on the Little Rock.
Wow, that's some serious quarantine there.
That's quarantine. That's a lockdown. By the way,
I don't know how my dogs would feel about that.
no, it wouldn't be a good place for dogs.
All right. Well,
Well, my mom popping on here real quick.
I have to get my sense in.
Okay, we only got a couple minutes, so what do you got to say?
Okay, well, the lighthouse thing, I read a few years ago, I think it was in Parade, where they're looking for people to live in lighthouses. They're free. If you want to go live in a lighthouse and you're that type of person, that they actually are, they don't know what to do with them anymore, and they're sitting there and they're looking for people to live in them. So I think you
Be
can
careful.
live free.
Be careful.
Especially
You
if
have
they
to.
don't give tours. Like the one in Crescent City, they would probably pay you to live there because they give the tours. I've been in that one, but all the others they say they're available.
all right. I'm gonna
And
get up
the
there.
thing
to
on the
Crescent City and go
on the virus, I get so upset. I felt like I was listening to Fox News.
Okay, well,
Hey,
we don't need to-
Janice, you got to get your face on the middle of the camera.
yeah, you got to. There you go.
Okay, right before I came on, they were saying that Amazon in the last 2 months made $4 billion profit. Now just think if they took one little part of that, all those huge corporations that get their taxes from, that don't pay taxes, but they make all their money off the people that do. And I go back to Elizabeth Warren. I don't know the numbers and the stats, but if they can't give America one damn year out and take care of everybody, I agree, give everybody 3,000 or 4,000 a month. I mean, if those corporations just put in a little tiny piece, it's just so disturbing. And if we had health care paid for like the rest of the civilized world, that would be a huge help to what's going on right now.
Okay, we don't have a politics show anymore, so let's kind of stay away. I agree.
I didn't get on because I was too upset. It's just,
But
to me, it's
you
just
also have to say you can talk about current events. It doesn't have to be politics. I mean, it could be a current event without it being related
But isn't it crazy? Our government is supposed to take care of their people. People that don't want big government. Government is supposed to take care of the people.
Mom, do you like turtles?
Like what?
Turtles?
No. Why?
They're kind of cool. Aren't they cute?
She's no Visco girl.
Anyway,
Okay.
that's all. I'm going. Gotta go get.
All
Jim.
right.
Ah.
Bye,
See you later.
Okay.
Bye.
We've gone an hour. We've gone an hour even. I think this is a good time to say goodbye. Goodbye, Mom. Good seeing you. Come up. I see Damien and Dennis and Dan Wells out there. Sis is out there. How you doing, Sis? Shelly's out there. Hello, Shelly. Just in time to say goodnight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Tomorrow is Friday. I don't have no plans, so I'll probably be on here. So take care. Get a good night's sleep and enjoy your evening.